The book that we are launching today is a collaborative effort between colleagues in ILO and UNCTAD. And the book itself, as you can tell from the poster there, deals with critical issues of our time, issues around transforming economies, issues of industrial policy, issues of growth, issues of jobs and development. Now, it draws on theory as well as evidence from both the North and the Global South. It deals with issues of our time. And as one that currently serves in Africa, this book has particular resonance in terms of the issues that it draws attention to.
I think that the quickest way to highlight why we believe this book is important and therefore central to ILO work on employment, inclusive growth and social justice on the one hand, and the wider ambitions of the UN system for the eradication of poverty and promoting development, is precisely because this book illustrates that to be successful, these two areas of policy objectives need to be anchored together and addressed together. It simply is not sufficient to focus on the objective of higher and sustained growth alone. Something more profound is required. That's a development strategy that strives to make growth more economically and socially inclusive, with higher productivity, higher wages, and an ability to reduce informality at work and to eradicate poverty. And I believe that this powerful message is common between UNCTAD and the ILO, and it's a message that emerges very strongly from our research, it emerges from international experience, and it's one that we are trying to convey to those who are negotiating the post-2015 development framework in the United Nations.
The disruptive debate about whether industrial policy was relevant or not has not taken away from the importance of work on industrial policy. So this book comes at a time when the rest of the world is returning to rationality about the importance of planning as a tool in achieving social goals. In our work, as we see the end of the paradigm of competing to the bottom in export-led growth, the challenges of expanding alternative markets, sustainable, inclusive growth, are all pointing to a direction where investing in healthy, decent, sustainable jobs is a critical consideration for economic and other national development.
So in this book, as editors, we set ourselves three main objectives to fill what we saw as three gaps in the literature. First, to identify the different economic perspectives and frameworks and assess their contribution to the analysis and design of industrial policy. So this serves a little bit of a guide to understand those perspectives. Secondly, to show the importance of an integrated approach and explain and elaborate on what this means. And third, to explore the links between productive transformation strategies and job creation.
The ILO undertook a research project in order to better understand the forces and the drivers of productive transformation processes, patterns, and transformation paths. And this book presents some of the most interesting findings and policy messages.
What seems to be critical, however, to understanding why you've had some countries that have used these policies successfully and others that haven't, is the nature of the state that is responsible for executing these kinds of policy initiatives. And that gets us in, and this came out of the work that UNCTAD did on East Asia, of course, of the role of the so-called developmental state. And that's a sub-theme, I think, in a lot of the case studies that are presented in the book, trying to get a handle on what it is that makes for successful developmental states, why some have achieved the kind of transformation that is necessary for sustained and inclusive growth and others haven't. And that's an ongoing discussion that I don't think the book resolves, but I think we raise a lot of interesting examples that can hopefully advance that debate.